So let's say you learn, for my case, let's say you learn Google Ads. And so now you know everything that applies to Google Ads, how to set up campaigns, how to read the data, and basically how to communicate to clients whether performance is good or bad. Now, I don't expect someone to take a course and actually learn that. But during the time that you're taking this course and you're learning Google, I would recommend someone to try to do some freelancing or something. Freelance, or just either build a business or create a website, send traffic to it, and then get in the habit of building these things out and actually seeing the data. So let's say you go the freelance route, you want to get in the habit of trying to be just learning how to communicate with the client, telling them how performance is. So basically client communication. And then let's say you take the route of just creating your own website. You want to get in the habit of reading the data, seeing what works. And so this will be more so like technical build up. So you're learning how to build up the campaigns, build up the campaigns, set up conversion tracking and all that stuff. And so once you've done all of that, then you can move to creating a portfolio. So that will be the next step. Build up a little portfolio, and that portfolio can house campaign creations, campaigns you've ran in the past for clients, data that you've collected by running these campaigns, and just you speaking on what those data points are. And then another one would be, if you want to stand out even more, especially when you get ready to apply for jobs, in the form of video. So video case studies would be cool. So basically a video case study would be like, hey, I ran this campaign for 30 days. I spent $500, got this amount of clicks, this amount of impressions, and this has converted into X amount of conversions or forms or calls or purchases for this client. And you can do this on websites like, let's see, like GitHub, or it could be a WordPress website, Squarespace, it don't matter. As long as you can showcase what the data looks like, and then also be able to show this on like social platforms where majority of the people basically are going to be hiring you at. So let's move this over. Let me delete this one. Here we go. And then let's say you start making content about basically all of this stuff here, talking about what you've done, but mainly on LinkedIn. And I swear, if you do this at the very beginning, your LinkedIn is when managers and recruiters find your LinkedIn and they see that you've been posting about data that you've collected or campaigns you've built out, and you have your case studies and stuff on there, yeah, it's gonna be an easy interview setup. So now that you've got the portfolio and you've been posting and all that good stuff, now the next thing that you want to do is set up your resume and stuff. So you're gonna build out your resume. Your resume should have basically some information around what you're applying for jobs for, the skill set, the tools that you've used, and also links to your portfolio. Let's see, your skills, tools that you use, and links to your portfolio. And also include numbers within your resume. Even if it's not even a digital marketing job that you worked previously, let's say you worked at a warehouse or whatever, or a mail room or something similar to that, you can always implement numbers on how you was able to increase a percentage of consistency, or increase the workflow, or decrease errors within the process within the team. So just include numbers within your resume. It stands out, and it also makes it more interesting as to like how you're able to keep up with what numbers and how much a percentage of impact that you had on your previous position. So once you build out the resume, you've added all this stuff in here. The next thing is applying for the job. I know back in the day, you would just go on LinkedIn, Indeed, and apply for jobs. But now we got AI and all this stuff. It can basically just do it for you. But the way to stand out even more is to not only apply for the job, but also reach out to people that are basically in your role, and people that are in the role that you're applying for, and then also managers of the people that are in those roles. So what you'll want to do here is, of course, apply for jobs, but not only apply for the job, you want to manage at the company. Now there's tools that you can use. I think Apollo, if you're looking at the screen right here, I think this is it here, the Apollo app. You can use it for I think it's like a Chrome extension up here at the top that you can use. And all you do is just go to LinkedIn and go to the business page of those people, and just find find the manager on LinkedIn that's working at that company, and then use the Apollo tool to get their email. So you want to apply for the job and then email the managers. And not only email them, you want to connect with them on LinkedIn and send them somewhat of DM version of the email you just sent them. So you got two forms of communication here. And after you do all that, you're basically just rinse and repeating until you get the interview. And that's really it. That's the main formula there. Buy a course or something, or just go through Google's training. Learn Google Ads, learn Facebook ads, learn one of the channels of marketing. Freelance, create a website. When you're freelancing, build some client communication, build those skills up, and also build up repetition and tech in the tech that you're using when you're building these campaigns. Once you've done that, create a portfolio. Within the portfolio, talk about your campaigns, the data that you've collected, video case studies, and you can house your portfolio on GitHub, WordPress, or Squarespace. Last thing is you want to basically document, talk about these things that you've done on your portfolio or while you're building up your portfolio on LinkedIn, just to give you some credibility and also something that'll make you stand out when recruiters and hiring managers are looking at your profile. After you build out the portfolio and started posting on LinkedIn, you want to start working on a resume. This resume, you want to add in the tools and skills and also links to your portfolio so that when you send it off, when they print it out or pull it up through an email or whatever software that they use to look at your resume, they're able to just click a link and go to your portfolio, and also include those numbers like I mentioned earlier. I increased this by doing this. I was able to improve this by X amount percent. I helped, or I spoke to X amount of customers a day by doing this. Just include numbers within your resume. It makes you look more analytical and it stands out. And the most important thing here is Indeed and LinkedIn portion. LinkedIn and Indeed is mainly where I apply for jobs. So once you find jobs and positions, if you're new to marketing, if you're not new to marketing, maybe look for job listings that talk about 1 to maybe 4 to 5 years of experience. If you're able to do all this stuff beforehand, you basically built up the experience that basically no one will have if they just applied and they're fresh out of college. They don't usually do all this stuff in college. They expect you to do this after you get out of college or whatever. But for jobs, 2 ways to do it. You can shotgun it, just hit the apply now button with your resume attached and then go from there. Or you can just go to the website and apply to the job. But once you do that, make sure you find the managers and recruiters on LinkedIn and email them. Email those managers and recruiters that at the jobs that you apply for, and connect with them on LinkedIn and send them a DM version of that email. And then you just rinse and repeat and you start all over again. You apply for the jobs and just keep going. And then once you get the interview, that's a whole nother separate training there. But if you're able to get this part, get the interview, at least get the interview part out the way. After you've had maybe 3 or 4, you can figure out what type of questions they're going to answer in the interview, and then kind of mold yourself to be able to be prepared for those questions and being able to answer them in a more professional and strategic way that'll prove that you're probably the best fit for the position. So let me know if this video, and I would love to do another training like this in the future, basically going over what it looks like when you've just learned the skill in marketing, whether it's Google, Facebook, paid search, paid social, SEO, and then applying that to real world experiences, and then getting all the way up to formulating a resume, and then applying for jobs and getting the job. If that's something you're interested in, hit me up in the comments or the chat below. I do have a Discord that you can join. It should be in the description below as well. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm usually just helping out people that know marketing. I'm not really too keen to teaching people how to do Google Ads, how to do Facebook, all that stuff. If you already know where to go to learn it and you just need help getting into the field with the already knowledge that you have, I'm that guy. I'm that guy to help you do that. Excuse me. Yeah, appreciate you for watching. I'll see you on the next video or training that I just decided to randomly do. I've been MIA for a while because I've been helping out a few people get into their field. They're finally in the stages of applying and emailing recruiters and hiring managers. And so far, it's been a week and they've got an interview and they're already at the what is it called? The 3-stage interview process that they're in. So I'm happy for them. And they're going to be making way more than they were making previous to what they were doing. And this whole thing that I just explained, it works in basically all other fields, cybersecurity, just tech in general, or any other field that requires you to get on the computer and basically showcase your skills. If you want to become an HR personnel, I feel like this journey or process that I just went over, it works. But in this case, I'm a marketing guy. So I definitely want to get you guys into your first marketing role, making at least 50 to 60K, maybe 70K starting out, and then bumping up your income up to 100K within a amount of 2 to 3 years. So, I appreciate y'all for rolling with me, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.